Perfect.
Hold on, let's
do
see.
this then. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hold on one second. Let me see if it records me. Okay, yeah.
What?
Yay!
Oh.
Are we good to go?
I think so.
Best podcast ever.
Let me drop this down just a little bit. Okay. There we go. 85. 85, does that sound good? No, we'll leave it at 100. Oh, freaking. How about, okay, 95. 95, is that happy? Yes, you're happy now. Thank you. At 100%, it was blowing it out all the time. 95 is just kind of peaking at the limit, and 85 is just barely at a squeak in there. It's like really being that damn picky. Okay, so let's do the intro again. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of Indie View. We actually have a name now. Yes! My guest today is Dave Stanley. He is Dave_draws on Twitter. He does a number of things. Graphics, games. What else do you do, man?
I do animation.
Yes.
A little bit of video work, etc. But mostly focusing on animation, illustration, and game design.
Okay.
I wear many hats.
Yes, most of us do, but you seem to be, based on your YouTube videos, were you the exclusive animator on those?
Yes, those ones I linked you to, I was the exclusive animator. It was a blast to work on this, man, because they would send over the audio and the script, and I would make the storyboards for it and get that approved or make edits as necessary. And then I would take like 2 or 3 weeks alone in my apartment and just animate every day. And like I said, it was a blast, but sometimes it was annoying because when something goes wrong, you are the only one who's going to be able to fix that.
Yeah.
But by that point, I've been working with Flash. That's what I use for my animating. I've been working with Flash since like 2008, but I spent many years sucking at animating. So I'm glad I did not pick up jobs like that, years prior, because it would have been a mess.
Yeah, I mean, that back in before YouTube really hit its stride, that was a heyday of Flash animation.
Yeah, absolutely. Newgrounds was huge.
Yeah.
And, I was up there every day, just getting all this great inspiration from guys like Egoraptor, etc. Just really, really good stuff that was made, by one person.
Yeah.
Over the course of a couple of weeks, and I aspired to do that. So one summer I picked up. I didn't get Flash yet, but I had a really. It was a free program, and it was only in black and white. You couldn't use colors, and you didn't even have layers. It was
wow.
It was very basic, but I taught myself essentially, how to do things, and I just tried to emulate as much as I could. I spent a lot of time as a kid watching cartoons and Disney films, and the films were great because there at the house I could pause and I could see when certain characters would move quickly, you could see how their entire body would stretch, and as a single frame it looked ridiculous, but when you're watching the full scene,
it's so fluid.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was learning odd little tricks like that and just kind of tucking it away in my brain, and I was like, one day I'm going to make money doing this. I just don't know when. But that was a blast. Eventually I kind of got burnt out on animating these big, 2 or 3 minute features.
Yeah, and I do want to give a disclaimer. But I probably should have done this earlier to anyone, because I'm going to have a link to this in the video, or in the description. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of this as a video. But, anyways, these are not particularly, the GTA ones are not for everybody, especially with some of the controversy that's been going on lately. I mean,
we got a lot of heat for that one, and it was understandable. None of us are racist. I'm not even completely white myself.
Yeah.
And we were doing a hardcore parody of Grand Theft Auto, especially with 5, since you could play, as a black guy and just see how the cops cops react to you. But the cops react to everybody in a really weird way on that game.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never played GTA, but I could tell that just from watching the GIFs and clips that I have, it's just the game dynamics they're screwy.
Yeah.
They're weird,
I mean, it's fun to play. I love the series, but it's really hard to not have your game session become like total chaos and just endless killing. Which, they kind of planned it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to animate. I didn't realize with that GTA one how touchy of a subject it was going to be until we released it, because I was listening to the audio and I was like, oh, this is funny. I didn't think of it as like, yeah, all these black people dying. I can't wait to animate that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It just kind of appeared that way, unfortunately.
I think what y'all were going for was more highlighting that the cops will just like go off for the stupidest of things in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just the vehicle that y'all chose maybe will rub people the wrong way. Nothing intentional, obviously.
It might have been a weird timing for that one, so apologies.
Yeah. But at any rate, but dude, the Pokemon one, all I could think of was like Welcome to Night Vale, sort of creepy, almost like Slender Man level creepy on that.
Exactly. The guy who hired me to do that one, he was like, "You want to do a Pokemon cartoon?" I was like, "Yes. I don't care what it is. I want to do it because I grew up on these games.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic franchise. And I get the audio back, and it's just hilarious, like how they just imagined Ash or Red or whatever you want to call him. How they just imagined him as this creepy dude who never sleeps or eats or does anything like that, because in the games you never do have to sleep or eat. And it was just like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that was my thought, as even like an 11, 12-year-old playing that was, this is so weird that it's always just standing still.
Yeah, and something similar to that I saw online recently was making fun of Skyrim in the same way, like when you have to wait for like the shop to open in the morning, but it's the middle of the night, so you just kind of stand there for like 8 hours and wait for the sun to rise and for all the shops to open so you can do your shopping. It was like a comic, and the people were just like, yeah, that guy with the horn helmet is really creepy. He just kind of stood there for 8 hours, not speaking, not moving, not eating.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, my favorite part with the Pokemon one that I animated was that close-up creepy image of Ash that you see. I spent a long time just making him look as ugly and creepy as possible, and
dude, you were starting to get into Ren and Snippy territory there. You really were.
Yeah, dude, that's a compliment, definitely, because I loved that show growing up. It was kind of hard to watch it because with your parents in the room, they're like, "What's going on here? This is not right."
Yeah.
But once I was older, I bought like Ren and Snippy DVDs, and I was like, man, this is the best.
Give me 1 second, man.
Okay.
Guys, we're doing an interview for my podcast. Butt out. I'll let y'all listen to it later. Dorks. Alright, I'm back.
Good thing we weren't doing anything nasty.
Yeah. So for anyone who's listening, we're recording this using Audacity, and we're using Discord chat services to actually connect us. And there's a group discussion that we're in, and we've got like 3 or 4 people going, "Oh my God, they're talking without us. What secrets are they keeping?" And it's like, go away, we're busy. But okay, back to topics at hand of your work, man. So I've downloaded a couple of the apps you've done, like trapdoors.
Oh yeah.
These are looking interesting, man. I haven't really played them. To be quite honest, I've looked them over and stuff like that. Watched the trailer for them. And
thanks, man.
these are the ones that you do with Panda. Go away, go away, Panda.
This is with Dead Collapse. Yeah.
So how did you're in what state again?
North Carolina.
And he's out of
He
Edinburgh?
lives in Scotland. Yeah.
How did y'all come with that partnership?
It's an interesting story. I was freelancing from home for the longest time through, it used to be called Odesk, but now I think they changed their name to Upwork or something. Anyway, it was just an online place where freelancers could post their portfolios and connect with people who need certain jobs done. And, you could work with potentially anybody in the world if you match up with them and they like your work. So I got a job doing my first app with another guy, and it was fantastic. It was full-time work, and he was just like, stick with me, man. I've got nothing but ideas. And, if you're gonna stick around, I'll have, like, work for you over and over again. I was like, this is great. So we did apps together, and we got, I think our best app might have done like number 10 on the iTunes charts for its category.
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, like, he was part of a larger group of other indie developers, and they passed my name around, and word got out that I was doing like pretty solid work. At that time, it was just art and animation for these simple games, more like character based, very cartoony.
Yeah, I mean, these are beautiful. They're very simple, very. But they're beautiful.
Thank you, dude. But eventually, Simon, who owns Dead Collapse, he found out about me, and he offered some work. And I went to my main guy, and I was like, "Hey, man, is this cool? Like, I don't want to step on your toes and like start doing work elsewhere." And he was like, "No, man, like you're good enough for this. Like, people are going to be asking for you, so spread your wings, and wherever you want to go, just go for it." So I did a few jobs with Simon, and instantly he was like one of the coolest dudes I've ever worked with. Like, definitely one of my favorite bosses. He just really knows how to talk to people and make them feel like they're appreciated, and not like, I need these edits done yesterday. Like, hurry up.
He's in there in the trenches with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I never feel like he just sits back and lets me do all the work. Like, every time I'm working on something, I know he's working on something totally different, but probably even more annoying than what I'm doing currently. So, I appreciate him for that. But anyway, he ended up like approaching me. He was like, "Hey, I found out about this program called BuildBox, and it's no programming involved, and you kind of have these like pieces of logic in a sandbox type area, and you build things, and whatever you can build out of it, just do the best you can to make a game." And like, there are tons of games being made with BuildBox.
Sounds a little bit like Scratch, but maybe a little bit more powerful.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
It sounds kind of like Scratch, but maybe a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, it is quite powerful. I mean, people are making really lucrative careers just working with BuildBox alone. It's pretty insane once you start seeing like how many games are made with that program. Anyway, Simon approaches me and he's like, "I want you to come on and help me learn this, and we will just learn this program together and see if we can make any money making games with this." And we did. Like, time and time again, we were getting Apple features, which I had never gotten before. I was so proud of that. And then we got more and more Apple features, and
that's not easy.
It's really not. Like, it's so cool every time that comes around, because we've got so many other games that did not get featured for whatever reason, and you never know which way they're going to go on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, you keep trying to reinvent yourself with every game and just use what you learned the last couple of times. And we've been doing this for, like 2 years now. It's been great. This is my full-time job, and I love it.
Dude, so you've got your indie developer stuff, but it seems like you guys are actually becoming just regular developers at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's still very independent. You know,